You're listening to Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress podcast. I'm your host, Nadine Bozeman. In this podcast, I'm sharing business systems and strategies specifically tailored to the bridal sewing industry so you can build your own modern and profitable bridal alterations business. Join me as I also get to chat with fellow seamstresses and share their personal success stories. I'm so glad you're here and that we can grow together in this unique trade. Welcome back to another episode of Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress, and I am so excited for today's guest, Renee Dalo. So I got to tell you how I first introduced myself, I guess, to Renee. This was in 2020. I had was it like a digital course with Amy Porterfield? Is that what that was? Okay.
Yeah.
Signed up for that, and I think it was a digital course about making a digital course or something.
That's right. So I was like on Amy's team as an ambassador. So we were sort of like in the mix to kind of encourage, and anyone who even said the word weddings like once was like funneled to me.
Okay.
That's how you found me. They were like, oh, she knows about weddings. Yeah.
And so at the time I had like a download for brides that was called Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress. And I was thinking at first my course was going to be for brides, and I would, tell them how to shop for a dress or how alterations worked. And then I ran it by you and you were like, this would be a great podcast title. And I was thinking, oh, okay. And then it morphed into being a podcast for bridal seamstresses, not brides. So this is kind of where it all started with Renee. So I'm so glad that you're here. Full circle.
You're welcome, everybody.
And then we finally met IRL at the Wedding MBA. And I told her this story. We got a selfie. So Renee, you are known as the queen of visibility and like empowering wedding pros to just get their face on social media, on their website, be comfortable with the camera. And I feel very strongly that my audience needs your cheerleading in this department. So part of me just wants to say, like, I don't need to interview you. I just want you to take it. Just help us.
I mean, listen, I love that you said like your audience specifically needs it, because I'll tell you, everyone needs it. One of the things that was so apparent to me after Wedding MBA this year, and I can get into more detail about why, but it was very clear after those couple of days, I was literally sitting with my husband in our hotel room and I was like, wow. I learned a lot this year. And I always learn even when I'm, keynoting, like I always learn, but wowee, did I learn a lot about everyone's just fears and hangups and the imposter syndrome and the little parrot on their shoulder that's like, you're the worst. Like, it's just, I learned a lot this year from y'all, and it was great.
Listeners, what your booth experience was like, that might help them like put a picture of that's how you got up close and personal with everybody's insecurities.
So this year was very different. This was last year, I should say. I mean, we're in January, but we're talking about November 2025. It was my 8th year speaking at Wedding MBA. I'm very fortunate to get to speak there every year. In the last couple of years, last 7 years, I've always had 2 topics. One is usually wedding planner focused, and the other is like a general topic. And for the last couple of years, my general topics have all been about social media, visibility, confidence, making a good first impression, like all these sort of softer skills. And frankly, like skills that we never signed up for when we decided to be a wedding pro. Like this wasn't part of it. When I started 15 years ago, Instagram was new, we were taking photos of our Caesar salads and putting like a sepia tone on it. Remember?
Valencia was my favorite, actually.
Valencia. I liked Paris. Paris was my go-to. So like the fact that we even have a language for that is bananas, right? Because we thought that we were doing the most. And back then we were pre-stories, by the way, pre-Instagram stories.
Oh, yeah.
Like we've been around.
My first stories, I had to like psych myself up. And that was, Ooh, that was, what, like 6 years ago that I was petrified. Yeah.
So this year at Wedding MBA, my topic on the big stage, on the main stage, was Instagram Reels and like hacks and tips for Instagram Reels. So I had taken it upon myself all of 2025 to really dive into Instagram Reels to like teach myself, right? Because I'm always like, if I'm going to talk about it, I got to go first, right? And I used to be an actor. I'm okay on camera. Like I don't have the fear. However, I didn't have like the reps. I wasn't doing the practice like daily like I wanted to. So I put myself to the challenge. Cut to Wedding MBA. I have a little booth. Usually we do some kind of theme, some kind of whatever. And it was like 2 weeks before Wedding MBA and I had nothing. Like when I tell you, Nadine, I did not have a thought in my brain. I was like, last year I had traveled so much for speaking. I was just exhausted. By the time we got to October, I was like, everyone needs to leave me alone. Like, I don't want to do anything. Well, I don't know about you, but I get all my best thoughts either in the shower or while I'm sweating.
Yeah.
So I was on the Peloton. And all of a sudden, out of like the ether, right? I get this idea that's like, oh, it should be a content booth. What? What? I was like, the booth should be a content booth. So I said to my husband is a production designer for reality TV. And so he came home and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And he was like sketching it out. He's like, we could do it like this. The initial idea for the booth was that we would have ring lights and tripods, and people would come and make content at my booth independent of me. Here you go. Here, do it, right? Because that's what I thought would happen. And I also thought that maybe like 10 people would want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be asking my friends, like begging, like, hey, can you come make a reel with me so I have something to post?
Stand in line so I look busy. Yeah.
Right. Like that's what I thought would happen. Turns out I was so wrong. We had 115 people come to that booth to make reels with me. We were busy from the moment we opened to the minute we closed. In fact, the second day, the last day, they do that thing like they close the expo hall and then they get on the mic and they're like, the expo hall has closed. We were still recording with people.
Wow. Okay.
The desire was so much greater than I had anticipated because I thought like, oh, this will be a fun little moment people can come create. But what really happened was I stood there and I coached people for about 3 minutes at a time. My husband took their phone. I was asking them questions. I was like, deep breath, shake it out. Let's do it again. What about this? I was coaching people in real time for 2 days straight and I loved it.
That's exhausting though.
It was interesting. I didn't ever feel exhausted until the end. Like I was pretty.
Once the adrenaline hit, you're like, I'm starving.
Yeah. Yes. Like I'm an extrovert, and I was really in the zone. But like as soon as it was over, I was like, like sweatpants and fried chicken, please. But I really thought like we've hit on something here. Like we've hit a nerve in a good way. Mm-hmm. And at the time, what I was launching was like this 31-day social media sprint because I thought the problem was momentum. In my mind as a coach, I was like, well, once people get into the habit, like they can keep going, right? What I learned at Wedding MBA is that it might be momentum. It might be consistency, or it might be about 100 other things. There was someone who came to my booth, this lovely woman, who walked up to me. She did not know me. She was new to Wedding MBA, never met me before in her life. And she said, every time I turn my phone on myself to record myself, I have a panic attack. Oh. And I was like, really? She's like, really? Like hyperventilating. And I was like, okay, like, do you want to talk about that? And she's like, no, I want to try to make a video. And I was like, right now? Okay. And she was like, yes. And I was like, right now with me at this expo hall with like the fluorescent lights.
Get on it, Renee.
She's like, you're a coach. I was like, I am a coach. Let's do it. And my husband laughed later. He's like, you spent about 3 minutes with everyone else. You spent about like 10 with her. And I was like, well, but the fact that someone would be so vulnerable, right? Mm-hmm. The desire was so strong that she was like, please help me get over this. I was just like, there's something else here, So we did the sprint throughout November, December. And then everyone in the sprint, it was like 130 people. They were like, what are you doing next? What are we doing now? And I was like, you guys are going to go make reels. And they were like, yeah, but what else? And I was like, oh, this should be something else. And so we created a membership around it because I think the visibility piece, we live in a world where like so many people are creating content all the time.
Yeah.
That I think the people who aren't think that it's supposed to be easy or like there's some magic that like I know that you don't. Mm-hmm. It's like everything else. It's a skill set. And unfortunately, like it doesn't get easier unless you just start doing it.
Right.
It's like going to the gym, unfortunately. I mean, I hate to say it, but it is
or
like,
that, like you're going to wake up one day and all of a sudden you're going to have this like list of all the things you want to talk about without putting some of that into practice first. I think that's, even if I like, kind of fall off the wagon, that is still a fear that comes up is like, does anybody even want to like hear what I have to say? And then it's like,
a real fear.
Okay, I'm just going to start, just do the thing. And then the next one's always easier. Like getting over the fear of like, do people care about what I have to say? I think for me, that's the biggest, like the loudest voice. And I have a podcast. Yeah. Obviously I got over that at some point, but it still comes up.
Well, and I also think people tend to think this like, well, I don't have anything new to say, or I don't have anything original to say. Right. But the point is that like your lived perspective is what makes the thought original. You and I could be given the same exact like sentence stem, right? But come at it a completely different way because we have different life experiences. We have different perspectives. The thing that our clients want to hear is our perspective. I mean, like in your world, I'm just going to make something up, but like, I don't know that there's a lot of brides who really care about the difference between like Duchess satin and like a regular satin. Like they don't know the difference, but they do care about what you think about it.
Right. Or if you're trying to attract your local audience, which a lot of our listeners are, I think there's more listeners who want to just attract local clientele than like go viral, but like they want to know if you're the person that they want to get naked in front of.
Yes.
Yes.
Here's the thing. This is the thing that all of our social media, I love that you said they don't want to go viral because I don't teach that and I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
never going to go viral. And I truly don't care
Yeah.
because I am just looking to attract the people that are attracted to me. But
Right.
especially in your case, it's like, this is a vulnerable position. Do I
Mhm.
feel safe with this person? And that's why I want so many people to do talking head videos. Like, I want people to get on camera and talk so that you're reducing the friction between, like, do I trust this person? Do I like this person? Can I get naked in front of this person before
Yeah.
they even walk in the door?
Right. Before they even like head to the website, they're like,
Yes.
why is it picking up so if we like totally like bring it down, what is a talking head reel? Because
Oh,
I'm sure
right.
there are
It's
some listeners who are like, what did she just say? So
Yes,
start at the
absolutely. And sorry to speak in jargon, not my intention. A talking head reel is anytime you are scrolling Instagram or TikTok and you just see someone's face in the
beginning.
frame yapping.
Hmm.
That's a talking head. The phrase talking head actually comes from the TV show The Office. Did you ever watch The Office?
Oh yeah.
So, like, you know how, like, it was, you would
Well,
see, like,
until Michael left, then I was done. I
right.
tried, but it's like, no.
No, the talking head is what they would call those, like, kind of confessional direct to camera things where the characters would talk about what had just happened. That's where that comes from. So that everyone just sort of, that's what it's called. But
There's
people
no
call it,
props needed, guys. It's just your own head.
it's just your own head. It's just
Hmm.
your own head. And to be honest, like, I do talking head videos, I don't know, a couple times a week. And a lot of times I just press record on the phone and just start yapping and I edit it down to like a minute. But sometimes I'm talking for like 5 minutes because I also like to repeat myself to like get my thoughts going. I'll be like that. And when I look at the edit, I'm like,
Wow,
why
I
did
said
I
it like
say that?
7 times. I
Why
guess
did, yeah,
that.
cut. But what I'm saying is, like, oftentimes you just have to press record and kind of
Right.
see what happens. Not
Hmm.
everything needs to be posted. Like
Hmm.
this phone has a ton of stuff that you probably will never see.
Hmm.
But I do record. Here's a rule I have for myself that might blow people's minds. I record myself talking every day for like 20 seconds.
As part of like your just exercise to keep
Yeah.
it nice and loose.
Yeah, I just like to have enough content to be creative whenever I want to be. So, like, sometimes it's B-roll, sometimes it's not
Mhm.
necessarily like me talking. Like, I took a couple of seconds of B-roll before we started this to be like, I'm ready for the podcast, you know?
Mhm.
I just feel like as wedding professionals, entrepreneurs, I think we think our lives are very boring.
Yes. Yes.
So I just got into the habit of documenting, like, I'm talking about no more than 30 seconds a day. Like,
Mhm.
anyone can do this. This is not
I
bananas.
think honestly, what you just said is like worth gold. That could be a great takeaway for the whole episode is everybody thinks their life is boring or they kind of should. You know what I'm saying? If you don't,
Right.
like there's something else happening, but it's
Right.
like you're not you don't need to wait to have that, unicorn feeling of like, oh, I am like what everybody's been waiting for because that feeling is not going to happen. And also kind of going back to when you speak to the camera, I know of all like my members that I follow on Instagram or my seamstress
Yeah.
friends, if I see their faces, that's when I'm going to like stop and watch and comment more so
Yeah.
than photos of the wedding dresses or whatever because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my friend or oh cool, what is she talking
Yeah.
about? And
We love faces. As
it,
humans, we love another human's face. We love it. We stop scrolling, we pay attention.
yes, and it doesn't really matter what you're talking about. It's like, oh, that's the person behind the brand. And I know even just when I'm posting just photos of me or videos of me, that's what gets more traction than my work. I don't know if you have heard of this or if you've kind of gone through this too, but it was almost like, okay, is it okay that I'm posting pictures of myself or is that
Yeah.
weird? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not
Mm-hmm.
weird because you have a public business. So part of that
Yeah.
is being vulnerable and putting yourself out there. It doesn't mean that you're full of yourself. You're just sharing your brand or sharing your business with other people. But I think that's another piece that people struggle with is like, well, I don't want to look like I'm full of myself, you know?
Oh, let's talk about it. It's my favorite thing. Let's unpack it. No, literally, a couple of years ago at Wedding MBA at my booth, when I was just standing there yapping with people, and I'm an older woman, but an older than me woman came up to me and she said, I started following you on Instagram. And I was like, oh, thank you. And she's like, you post a lot of photos of yourself. Now,
Which let's
understood.
also pause and talk about what projecting means, but that'd be another.
Well, it was interesting, right? Because I had this moment. She came to my booth at a conference that year I was the keynote, and I was standing in front of a background that had my logo on it. And I just looked at her and I said, well, I am a personal brand. And then she goes, well, don't you have any feelings about that? And I go, do I have any feelings about you having feelings about me posting my face too much? And she goes, well, and I go, or do you want me to be more humble about that? And she kind of just looked at me like we had this real, like, kind of
Ooh, I'm like
moment
I'm like blushing listening to this.
because I thought to myself, like, I could make this easy on her or we could make this a lesson. And I wasn't trying to be a B word, but I did want to kind of point out the hypocrisy of it because she wouldn't have said that to a man.
Oh.
I don't think she would have said that to a man. I don't think she would have walked up to Alan Berg, who's another very well-known speaker at Wedding MBA, and said, "You post a lot of photos of yourself." But we have this thing societally as women where we think that our job is to be both attractive and invisible.
A really very vague balance, though. So good luck finding that.
Good luck. I'm supposed to be attractive enough to keep your attention for 45 minutes on stage, but humble enough to not post a photo of me on the internet because God forbid.
Also, you can't look like you're trying hard.
Right. But you can't not try because otherwise you're not trying hard enough and you're giving up on yourself.
Don't be #try hard. Jeez.
Right. God forbid we're out there trying. So it was a really interesting moment because I'm sure she's not still following me. I don't think she's a fan. But she wanted to humble me in that moment and I wouldn't allow it. Because here's the thing.
She like sought you out. Ooh.
Yeah, no, she walked right up to my booth. And it's like, I've spent 15 years building a business. The business that I'm building is me. It was Moxie Bright. It was my planning business. At a certain point, I became a public speaker. Then it became the Renee Dalo business. And now it is only the Renee Dalo business. The planning business doesn't exist anymore. Like, what would you like me to do?
Yeah.
Not ever post my face and hide? That's not how we get success. The other thing too, I think, and this, I'm not a mom. Are you a mom?
No. I mean, I have chickens, so they are.
Sure. Mom of chickens. I'm not a mom, but I have a lot of coaching clients who are moms. And obviously I'm in a friend group. I'm in an age bracket where everyone I know is a mom.
Right. Same.
Something happens to moms specifically where they are the ones taking the photos, but they are rarely the ones in the photos.
That's a good observation. Yeah.
And like societally, this is expected or it's accepted, right? That like, oh, you might go on a family trip and not be in the photos. I think that's a bunch of BS. But I also think there's another flavor here, which is like, I live in LA, think what you will about that. But, you know, we have this Kardashian influence of a family seemingly without talent who are one of the most successful families in the world. If we think about, you know, financial,
like they got some kind of talent. I mean,
they got the talent of our attention.
Right.
And they were really, in my mind, right, they really came up in the age of like the selfie, right? Like before them, I don't know that we had a lot of language around the selfie. But I do know that as someone who's way older than them, when the selfies were popular, I was like, I'm not going to take a selfie of myself put on the internet. Like, what am I, a narcissist? Like, that's crazy. I'm a business person. I would never do that. Why would I do that? And then I really had to check myself because I'm the kind of person, like when I have a lot of resistance to something, I go like research it. There is a fine artist by the name of Cindy Sherman. She was very popular in the 60s. She was a grown woman in the 60s. She's a photographer. Cindy Sherman is the inventor of the selfie. She was the first professional photographer to make herself the subject of her own photos.
Wow.
If you ever see a Cindy Sherman exhibit, retrospective, go. Because if you look at the body of work, she is her only subject in these displays, but she looks completely different in each setup. She made herself her own subject. And I find this so interesting in the 60s when no one was doing that, right?
Yeah.
Instead of thinking about a selfie as like this narcissistic thing, we have to start thinking of ourselves as the subject of our own lives. And it's okay to document that. And it's okay to be the Cindy Sherman, to say like, I want to see myself swimming in a pool, or I want to see myself standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. I want to see myself when I'm sewing.
Yeah.
Why not? Right? Like, why is that narcissistic? It is sharing our lives with others so that others don't feel so alone. I think the whole point of social media is for someone else to look at what you're putting out and go, oh my God, me too.
Yeah, right.
So I think about this, all this stuff when it comes to like putting ourselves out there and selfies and like, am I a narcissist? Am I conceited? It's like, it's never just one thing. But if you can think of like how far we've come as women in the world, like I'm not going to tell Cindy Sherman she was wrong. I'm going to post a selfie every so often. Why not?
Yeah. If you could speak to the person who maybe they don't have anxiety when they open up their phone, but they feel like, what the heck do I do first? Do I post a story first? Do I have to get on a trending reel? What do I do? What is
a lot.
Basic first step?
It's a lot. And I think we've done a really good job of overcomplicating it for everybody.
Yeah.
Truly. It depends on your goal, right? If your goal is reaching beyond the people who already follow you, that's going to be video. If your goal is educating the people who already follow you, that's going to be a carousel. If your goal is just to share slices of life with the people who already follow you, that's a story. For most business owners, I think I'm going to encourage everyone to do a reel because that is what seems like the biggest mountain to climb. And once you've mastered a couple of different reel formats and like content buckets of what you want to share, it actually becomes kind of a formula, kind of a puzzle. You put it together and then you kind of have like what you're going to post this week, as opposed to like every day waking up and being like, oh, crap, I have to post something. I also think too, like you had mentioned earlier about the algorithm, like I don't teach the kind of way that's like, you have to post Tuesday at noon, otherwise forget it. Like,
yes.
No, that's not what it is. But
And
I
mine
do
are
think,
usually like, oh, I'm about to go to bed. I meant to post that thing. So it's like 11:30 and it's like, I hope somebody
yeah,
sees it overnight. And then we'll see what happens the
to be
next day.
to be honest, I've done that. I'm not going to say I haven't. I've been like, oh, I meant to get that out today. Boom, let's throw it out. And it usually does fine.
Yeah.
I will say if someone is really just like, I don't know where to start, I would probably start with a talking head reel. I would decide on a little tiny tidbit of something I wanted to talk about. That's the other thing. These talking head reels are like 30 seconds, 45
Yes.
seconds,
And the information can be
this big,
minutia. Like bring
so
your shoes to
tiny.
your fitting. Bring your
Just
shoes
so,
to your fitting. Yeah.
yes. Yeah. What kind of bra to wear? Like, that's it.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't
Just
have to
one
teach
thing. Yes.
one little thing. That's all you have to do. And the shorter, the better, because honestly, anything that's short gets played more because people are like, oh, what did she say? And they'll play it
Yeah.
again. And the reason I'd say start with the talking head is because that's the thing that scares people the most. And if you can do that, you can do a B-roll with some text over it. You can, do a quick cut of you like working, like all of that becomes easy when you've done the direct to camera, like, because, there's a moment where you're like, is that what I look like? I guess that is what I look like when I talk, huh? All right.
Yes.
You gotta get over yourself in that way too.
Or like, is this what I sound like? I remember going through that too. Like, oh, am I
Yeah.
really that nasal? Okay, well,
I'll tell you something, as a musical theater performer, we can't hear our voice the way
right.
other people hear it because we have bones. Our voice is hitting against the bones in our head. I know that sounds creepy, but that's what I learned that's what my BFA taught me.
Oh, way to go.
Bones in our head.
Put it to use. So can you tell us about maybe one of the first things that you posted where you realized like, oh, this is working, this is easy. Do you remember what that was? Or
Oh
like,
my gosh. One of the first things that I remember posting, this is easy. I will say back in the day, and I mean like 2016,
mhm.
2015, I was a leader for Rising Tide in LA. We had a huge chapter, so we had 4 different leaders. And the week before the meetup, we had one meetup a month. Myself and another leader used to get on our Instagrams and the Facebook group, and we would do talking heads, enticing people to come to this meetup, and we would do them together. So they were all like banter, and they were always improvised, and we were always looking so stupid. Like, we just didn't care. It was very silly. But I remember when we started doing those, because attendance was low, we were just
Yeah.
like, well, what could we do? Like, maybe if we're silly about it,
Hmm.
when I tell you, attendance started like skyrocketing. Like we would have meetings that used to have 5 people, they would have 30 people, 40 people, 50 people. We'd have to get a new venue. And we kept thinking, like, what's the difference? Is it the quality of the meetup? Nope, it was the videos.
Wow, because
It
it
was,
was like you were focusing on the connection that was happening,
yeah.
and that's what your audience is probably craving. They didn't want like a stuffy networking
Nope.
group.
They wanted us bantering back and forth and being stupid and talking about the theme and come out to the unique space. We're going to have cupcakes. Like we're like wild and unhinged and silly and stupid, but fun. And people were like, oh, it felt like you were talking, like you were inviting me.
That's so cool. And I think too of like the first retreat that I hosted, like for our membership, the first like B-roll that we got, most of it was kind of professional, like a lot of like taking notes and like
Yeah.
listening to the speaker or whatever. And then the next one was all like just the hangouts and the hugging and the laughing. And because that is what our membership is. It's like
Yes.
seamstresses who work by themselves. They don't have coworkers. Some of them
Yeah.
do, but it's the staff that they're running, they don't have the same camaraderie. And then they come to the membership and they're like, all of a sudden I have like support and I have friends
Yes.
at like the water fountain now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. And I joke a lot about, I used to be a choir teacher for 10 years before I got into bridal sewing. And the staff room was like the place to be. That's where you would like vent about your students and the parents. And like, I got this email from so-and-so. And it's like lunchtime was the best because you were just like getting through
Yeah.
it and then time to get back in the classroom, whatever. And so that is what the seamstresses want when they join the membership. So when we started, like the attendance for the next one tripled because of like, oh, I want the kiki. Like I want like the,
Yes.
like that is what we
Yes.
want. Of course, like we have great education and speakers and whatever, but it's like it's the friendships that people are craving. And so when they can see that in action,
We
perfect.
want the humanity. And also, I would imagine that your clients feel the same way. They're afraid of their dress fitting because they don't know what it's supposed to be. So if we
Right.
can use video to show them or talk to camera about this is what it is in 4 steps and simplify it. There's also a lot of neurodiverse people in the world now who need a little extra hand holding. They
Yes.
need someone to go before them and say, this is what it's like.
Yeah.
Anything we can do to pull back the curtain, to show the behind the scenes, to show the humanity behind the brand, there's no downside to that, by the
I
way.
love that. Something just clicked when you were saying that, because we talk so much about like, okay, what you need to have in your contract or what needs to be in your inquiry and all the information that your clients need to get. But sometimes it's just like the visual of like, this is going to be the fitting room. And then this is this pedestal that you step on. And this is the mirror. And
Yes.
because I'm like that, I like to know what I can expect about like every scenario in my
Yeah.
life, sadly. Like I need a
No, but that's normal. And like, this is how much room we have for visitors. This is where
yes.
your mom would sit,
Right, right.
you
That is
know?
so great. And that is a really easy thing to do. And you don't need to have the full tour. Don't use up all that information in one reel. Have it be broken up into like 5 little pieces of your studio.
Do a 4-part series, and then you
Yeah,
can
here's
link
what
them all
happened.
together. You
Yes.
can now link them all together using the link feature.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know what
It's
that is.
brand
I'll
new.
have to
It
look
just
it up.
came out this week. Yeah.
Okay.
If you use the Edits app
Yeah.
to edit, once you import a video to start editing, on the bottom, right in the middle, it says links. And if you click on it, you can link to another account or your own account, or you can link to a video you've previously made to your reel or someone else's. And you have
Oh,
to shrink it down so it's like small, but you
yeah.
could do like a 4-part series, right? You'd post the first one of 4. Here's what happens when you walk in. Then you do the second one and say, this is 2 of 4. If you missed one, click here.
Yeah.
You can start linking. You can self-reference. It's great. It's new.
That's amazing. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna like look at that when I get in the
Yeah,
couch.
yeah. DM me if you can't find it.
Oh,
I'll walk you
yes.
through.
Okay, thank you. Well, I feel like we have so many ideas. We can be the talking head. We can give a little
Yes.
tour. We can, if we
So
want to
many
be
ideas.
crazy, we can hop on a trend, but that doesn't need to be the first thing, because I think a lot of people do get stuck on that.
Everyone thinks that they have to do a trend because trends are what goes viral. And trends are great. And I think you should do a trend because it's
Yeah.
fun. Like there needs to be like a fun bucket of like what you're posting because people need to know you're like a human that's good to be around. But if you're only doing trends,
Good to be around.
right, like if you're only doing trends though, we're never getting to know you. And so like do a trend every so often if it's relevant, but you can also ignore trends and have a very lovely social media feed.
Yeah,
So
I love it. I
yeah.
do want to make sure that listeners know about your memberships. Can you talk about that?
Yes.
And like, what
Sure,
does that
sure.
look like? What are they going to learn? How can they?
Yes. The membership is called the Verve and Vision Club. It's for wedding pros and any creative entrepreneur. Verve means like spunk, and vision is just
Yeah.
seeing the path, right? What I'm calling it is a visibility and confidence membership. What it really is any level of visibility you're currently at, if you're not posting at all, or if you're posting every day, but you want to get on Good Morning America, we cover it all. If you are someone in the middle that you're like, I am posting enough, but now I want to get on podcasts. Okay, we're going to talk about that too. We're talking about business visibility at every level, but the lens we're doing mostly through is video content because that is what's currently getting the most visibility.
Yeah.
So to that end, we have 2 monthly calls with me where we get on live and I coach. There is an editing library. So if you want to know how to edit a green screen, we have a video for it. If you want to know how to edit a talking head, it's there, both in the Meta edits for Meta app and CapCut. And we're also adding another app, Templify, in a little bit. So there's a lot of library there for you. And like we have so many videos now, and they're all about 5 minutes long. So if you're in the moment and you're like, this would be a good talking head, go watch the video. We also have a visibility like curriculum where I'm just teaching little classes about things like selfies and charisma and know, like, and trust factor, and like just these little bite-sized videos. Every month we do a month of prompts. So if you were to post 5 days a week, you could just use this guide. We also have trend reports, which are my favorite because I am chronically online. So if I notice a trend, I create a trend report and send it to the membership like, hey, this is trending. Like last week was 2016 versus 2026.
Oh, yeah. I was up on that, but it was a cute one. Yes.
Right. So we talk about like how to use that trend for your business. If you want to, this is what you need. These are the clips you need. This is how to edit it. Like this is the whole thing. And then we have like guest speakers come in every couple of months just to talk about like how to work with a content creator, how to get a YouTube channel started, how to pitch to a podcast, right? How to get quoted in a publication, an online publication. It's a variety of things because I don't want it to be one note. This is not just a membership about Instagram Reels.
Yes, I love that. That is so, yes, that's so smart.
I think visibility is something that has to be baked into your business in this day and age. You cannot say like, oh, I'll do it later, or maybe next month I'll start. Like you should have started 5 years ago. If I had started 5 years ago, I'd be a millionaire on TikTok right now. It would have been a whole different life.
Oh,
But I didn't want to dance on the internet, so here we are. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I still don't want to dance on the internet, really.
That was the year of dancing. So it's like 2020.
I know.
Thanks, 2021. Ooh, no.
I was busy in
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, that is a great question. What would you tell somebody who is just getting started on the socials? I don't know.
You just got to start. I think we spend too much time with this idea in our head that like someone's going to think something about me, or like I'm going to have a hater. Someone's going to comment. I mean, maybe, but also they probably won't. I have a pretty big following and I don't get that many comments that make me want to quit it all and go off into the woods.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I mean, every so often I'll get one that I'm just like,
Everyone's gonna get that little somebody in your booth, but other than that, it's fine.
yeah, but you know what? That's the price you pay for choosing to be a
Yeah.
person on the internet. But
Yes.
you as a business owner do not have to make that same choice to that same level, but you get to decide. You
Yeah.
do get to decide.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I think this is such a like, just whip out your camera and do the thing.
Do
So,
it.
yes. So, as you're listening, okay, you might be sewing, whatever, you might be driving, pull over, think about one really teeny tiny thing you can talk about, and then you can send it to my DMs. Like, so that I can make
Yes.
sure that I see it and then I can share it. And like,
Yes.
you'll have a community of seamstresses who will actually be watching. It's like we're helping with the first steps here. So,
Yes.
good
And you know what?
stuff.
You know what I say sometimes to people who really are like, I just don't know where to start. Sometimes it's easy to start with something that pisses you off
Oh,
because you're naturally.
like a hot take.
But
Yes.
yes, a hot take. What are you like fired up about? I did a hot take the week of Wedding MBA, like the night before the first day, about how I hate dress codes at networking events.
Mhm.
And it went viral-ish, and it got shared like 100 times while I was sleeping. So I woke up and my account was like on fire. And people were like, I can't believe you said it. I've been thinking about this for years. And I was like,
Yeah.
right. So sometimes if you can be brave for the amount of time it takes to press record and press post, then you might be doing
Yeah.
a really good service to everybody else.
Wow. Okay. There's so many different ways to have verve and vision here.
Yes.
Love it. And I pronounced
Yes.
it correctly.
You
Is
did.
membership open? Do you have like just enrollment times or how does
So we
that
do
work?
have enrollment times. Right now we're on a wait list, but if you join the wait list and say that you listen to the podcast, I might be able to open the door for you. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Okay. A little bump
Well,
up, get a little special treatment because
there you go.
you did come up with
Get
the
the,
podcast name. So I feel like
that's right.
there has to be some
This
kind of.
the inside secret is you get to join the membership when it's closed.
Oh, I love it. Well, and then where's your next speaking gig?
I'm going to WIPA Cleveland on
Where's
what
Wibba?
Cleveland. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking of, okay, I'm thinking it was like a city within, but I'm like,
Oh,
city, what's
I'm
happening?
going. Okay, let me rephrase. I'm going to
WYTPA.
Cleveland. I'm going to Cleveland for WIPA on February 9th, and then I'm going to San Antonio on March 3rd, and then
Ooh,
I'm going to
that's
Dublin
so
and
fun.
London.
What?
Yeah. And then I don't know the rest of the year. We'll see.
Wow, that's awesome. The first thing I thought about was food too, because what's fun to eat in Dublin and England?
I mean, I've never been to Dublin. This is my
Potatoes
first
and
time. We're going to the Guinness. We're doing like the Guinness factory tour, although I don't drink, so I'm just gonna
yeah.
like sip it, I
Like, do you
guess,
have
and be
any
like,
chips,
"Mm."
peanuts
Right.
around here? Yes.
Yeah. Do we have any French fries? And then in London, what we do is a lot of Indian food.
Oh.
Yeah, we do gymkhana and dishoom a lot. I mean, a lot of Indian food to the point where when we leave, I'm like, I'm good for the year.
Yeah.
This is like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is my third year going back to London, and we like me, Leah Weinberg and I, she's who I'm going with. We like it's too much Indian food. Like at a certain point, I'm just like, no more. I need like a bagel or something.
Just need a bagel or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so exciting. So, thank
Thanks.
you so much for carving time out for us and helping us
Thank
be
you.
brave. And
Yes.
so the key takeaways, you do not need to have an exciting life. You do not need to educate these huge topics. Keep it nice and small. And everybody gets a little sweaty. Everybody feels a little nervous. When I was teaching, this like aha moment that I had, which was really like the catalyst to get me to quit, was we had these, annual reviews. And our, administrators would come in, and because I was a music teacher, they didn't know anything about music. And so every year I would get so nervous, and then they would give me feedback, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would I, what? And then this particular year, they switched their observation rubric. Like, they went to a completely different methodology. So, like, they were making it up as they went along.
Yikes.
But I was sweaty because I was so nervous. And then I was like, wait a minute, he's nervous too because he doesn't know what he's doing either. But he's coming in looking so confident, and I am sweating, and like I couldn't eat lunch because of this stupid observation. So this
Oh,
was the year that I quit because I was like, nobody knows what they're doing. And the same thing applies when you're going on the social medias. Like,
yes.
like we're all human and we all still feel nervous. And even now, sometimes it's like I said, when it's been a couple of days, I'm like, hey, just go on the stories. Okay, just post something.
Yeah.
Like, ugh,
Share.
it's
You know
fine.
what I just thought of that I'll offer you before I know we're over, but before we leave, because you have a membership and I'm assuming your listeners are members, lean on your members. Like you can create content with people that are not in your market. You could do like a cute like pass the veil or so, you know what I mean? Like you could do something where you're all contributing a little piece of content and then making one reel that you all share. Like you don't have to create in isolation at
Oh,
all.
I love that.
Yeah,
Veil. We're literally going to do that probably.
you
I should
should
have little prompts.
do it and then tag me so I can see.
Yes, I'll put prompts in our like circle chat, and then whoever wants to
Yes.
send me a clip, I'll make a little.
You know what else I like for you guys? I'm trying to get everyone in different landscapes to do this. So I'm not a sports person, but I am a Swiftie. So I now watch football, right?
Got
Because
it.
of Travis. So they do this thing with
Obviously.
Travis where they put like a mic on him, while during the game. They call it like mic'd up. And like, how funny would it be to have a mic, like either on the seamstress during a fitting or the bride, and have this fitting be mic'd up, and then you can edit it in a cute way? Because it's like, I think like clients
Yes.
don't really. I mean, it would have to be like obviously kind, right?
Well,
But like,
they say, like, do you want me to tuck your boobs in? Okay,
yes,
this is not back fat. This is just skin. All
yes.
that we
Like
say.
so many of the things that we all say in the course of work are actually very interesting. We just don't think they are because we're the
Yeah.
ones doing it. But if you had like a little mic on you and it was kind of like, how it's all kind of whispery when they do it? Like, I think that could be really interesting
Smart.
content.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, I got past the veil. I got the ASMR fitting talk, and
Yes.
what do I need? Perfect.
You're done. We did it.
Okay, so
Check.
all of Renee's info is in the show notes.
Yay.
Get on the wait list for the membership if you feel like I need some therapy to get on socials. That's what she's here for. So
That is what we're
Renee,
doing.
we'll be following you in your next speaking gigs, and we'll be watching your
Thank
stories
you.
and all of your reels for inspo. So
Yay. Thank you
your
so
time.
much. And I'll see you at Wedding MBA this year, hopefully.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and share this podcast with a friend. And if you're feeling really generous, leave a review. Thanks, everyone.